In Japan, there was an exhibition of food processing equipment and technology FUMA, and of course, there were robots. We consolidated for you a compilation of the most interesting solutions. For example, the robot Denso Kobata Wave, developed by the HE Institute of Technology, prepared a traditional dessert for visitors, the finest pancakes with stuffing. Working with plastic objects such as fabrics or thin dough, for robots this task can be very difficult. Too many things can go wrong, but at the exhibition, the bot definitely could handle it all. The only question that remains is whether the robot was run by itself or the operator behind the scenes. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. In other news, a device has been created to monitor people through walls. It was developed and presented by the Israeli company Cameo Tech. The Xavier 1000 gadget is able to track objects and people through walls in real time using sensors and machine learning algorithms. Namely, the device sees the presence, the number, and remoteness of people behind walls, whether they are armed, what position they're in, and where they took it. The Xavier 1000 consists of a tripod, folding panels, and a 10-inch touchscreen. The device takes only a few seconds to form an image with the exact placement of objects and people behind the wall to continue to track their movement. Chinese scientists have developed a safe neural transplant technology and have been able to implant an electronic chip into the brain of a goat without opening its skull. In the course of the study, a stent was injected into the veins of the animal and moved through the blood vessels to the motor cortex. The chip itself was delivered through the stent to the right place. When the sensor took the right position, it connected to the electrodes to the wall of the blood vessels and began recording strong and clear electrical signals from the goat's brain. The procedure was carried out with a high-precision robot. The collected data was transmitted via computer remotely. And in Japan, the project to build the world's largest robot continues. The robot hands are completely finished and can now be controlled by anyone. To do this, you need to wear a special glove with motion capture. The robot repeats the gestures slowly with considerable delay, and this, of course, is due to its gigantic size. Remember that the height of Grandma is 25 meters, which is comparable to an 8-story house. Remember when we told you about XPeng Robotics' four-legged robot? Admit it. Did you laugh at the time? Well, since then, the company's made $100 million on it. That's how much it got for a project development as part of its Series A funding. The funds will be used for research and development in the field of robotics, hardware, and software. The company's first product will be the robot horse. The robot will not have to do industrial work like Spot or Animal. It will be solely a companion capable of caring for, entertaining, and transporting its owner. The bot will be equipped with a visual voice control, intelligent driving, target tracking, and will be able to work on different types of terrain. Japanese engineer from Kyoto University in Kajima and Kajima Construction are developing an artificial gravity architecture to make life in our outer space possible. Researchers believe that in order to explore the Moon and Mars, mankind will first need colonies in outer space, giant cylindrical spaceships with artificial gravity, including living areas, public transportation, green spaces, and water bodies. This is necessary because while adult health in low gravity can be maintained for some time, the birth and growth of healthy children under such conditions is impossible. Therefore, we need habitable objects that can generate gravity through centrifugal force as they rotate through space. The Japanese considered this prospect of migration to the Moon and Mars as real as early as the second half of the 21st century. Teams are also working on Hexatrack, an interplanetary transportation system for Earth, Moon, and Mars that maintains 1G speeds even during long-distance travel. And startup AI Space Factory presented Project Lena, a 3D printed lunar outpost developed in collaboration with NASA for the Artemis mission, whose astronauts will be based at the Moon's South Pole. Lena's ultra-thin shell will support 2.7 meter thick regolith walls, giving a lightweight, mass-optimized structure that will protect people from deadly cosmic radiation. Lena will be built by autonomous robots near Shackleton Crater, where near-continuous sunlight on the crater peaks and can provide solar power, while perpetual shade on the crater interior promises a good catch of water ice for the astronauts' needs. The modules will be built by a 3D printing system designed to operate in a vacuum at temperatures ranging from -170 to 70 degrees Celsius. Lena will be made from high-tech performance mixtures of natural lunar regolith and a polymeric binder of Earth origin. The prospect of a lunar base seems to be getting more and more real. Rocket Lab successfully launched the Capstone mission probe to lunar orbit. There, they will test whether the orbit was stable enough to accommodate the future NASA Lunar Gateway. The spacecraft will, in practice, determine what energy and thrust are required to be in orbit predicted by NASA. Capstone also tested the reliability of the innovative ship-to-ship navigation system using the Interplanetary Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, which has been in orbit around the Moon since 2009. Mojo Vision has finally tested its contact lenses with augmented reality. The full-featured Mojo Lens smart lens prototype has an impressive array of hardware. The lens has the world's smallest display with the highest density, micro LED with a diameter of less than 0.5 millimeters and a resolution of 14,000 pixels per inch, capable of displaying dynamic content. The display is also equipped with an ARM Core M0 processor, a 5 GHz radio module that allows the exchange of ultra-low latency data, and a sufficient number of accelerometers, gyroscopes, and magnetometers to track user eye movement with maximum accuracy. The outer ring has a built-in medical-grade micro battery, which will be large enough to work all day in the final version of the product, as well as power plants and wireless charging systems. The startup VR Somnium, together with Tesla's suit in 2021, presented a unique VR suit which gives tactile feedback on the whole body. In a new review from Tech Radar, how this technology works is actually explained. The suit is equipped with 90 electrodes that touch different parts of the user's body. They send discharges from 1 mA to 60 mA to the muscle. Signals of different frequencies and intensities emitted by the electrodes simulate a series of feelings and sensations, so a man in a suit can feel a blow or a shot as well as raindrops falling from above and all over the body. The company has also managed to simulate the overloaded experience of the driver of a Formula One car. According to the review, the impressions are absolutely realistic. It's only a shame that the suit is priced sky high at $20,000, and that is not for mass sale. Look how waterproof and hardy the Unitree robots have become, namely the B1 model. A robot with IP68 moisture protection that can carry up to 80 kilograms of cargo, and the maximum load capacity reaches more than 100 kilograms. And hey, while you're here, subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and don't miss any new episodes from the world of robotics and high tech. Scientists at Virginia Tech have developed an electronic suction cup glove that mimics the unique muscular and nervous system of a sea creature. It senses objects underwater and sticks to them as well as a living prototype. The rubber suction cups covered with soft actuated membranes stick to flat and curved objects when lightly pressed. The suction cups are powered by a multitude of micro-LiDAR optical proximity sensors that detect nearby objects. A microcontroller connects the sensors to the synthetic suction cups to control their behavior, and at the same time, the sticking process can be customized by changing the sensor matrix depending on the task at hand. The invention can be useful for archaeologists and engineers servicing underwater objects as well as rescue divers. Space robot startup Get AI conducted a demonstration of its suspended system in a thermal vacuum chamber. A two-armed autonomous robotic manipulator with a range of 1.5 meters performed maintenance, assembly, and manufacturing work. The system will be tested outside the ISS in 2023. During the technical demonstration, the robot will be installed outside the ISS Bishop ISS lander module, where it will perform a number of tasks in open space. Remember that Get AI is also developing a humanoid robot on a four-wheeled platform that can build structures and extract samples from the surface of Moon and the Mars. In Switzerland, the company Cargo South Terrain, which is going to build a network of underground tunnels for unmanned cargo delivery, will start a project this August. The concept was presented in 2016, but it wasn't until December of this year that the Swiss parliament passed the necessary legal framework. Cargo South Terrain works in the same principle as an automatic conveyor system. The drones pick up and move goods completely independently, moving through tunnels around the clock about 30 kilometers per hour. Goods are then transported on pallets or in modified containers. Thanks to refrigerated vehicles, it's also possible to transport fresh and refrigerated products. A high-speed suspension road for the small packages of goods is attached to the roof of the tunnel. The cost of the project is estimated at $30 to $35 billion for the entire 500-kilometer network, although about $3 billion should be enough for the first phase, namely the 70-kilometer stretch with 10 nodes that will connect Zurich to a logistics center in the west part of the country. Chinese media are reporting massive layoffs at PRO Robotics. According to some reports, about 1,500 people lost their job. The company reported that this year is a forced measure in order to survive. The fact is, the robotics market in China has become hyper-saturated and competitive to the point that competition is out for the lowest price. And at the same time, the level of investment in robotics in the country has significantly dropped due to a downturn in the economy, which does not allow enough investment in the promotion of PRO robots in the foreign markets where competition is not as high. Nevertheless, bankruptcy is out of the question, and the company promises to introduce a new product at the end of July. Computer vision researchers at Stanford University have created virtual organisms that evolve themselves and change their bodies for better adaptation. They unpredictably evolve their bodies and come up with their own method of movement. This combination of evolution and learning can help engineers create new kinds of robots. Scientists have found that although learning takes place in the brain, it's the body that influences exactly how this process takes place. Consequently, robots that develop their own bodies in simulation will be able to perform tasks better than those created by humans. We find the concept interesting. What about you? Let us know down below. Georgia Tech Robotic Musicianship Group and the Avshalom Polak Dance Theater unveiled the release of their collaboration. As a part of the project, engineers taught robotic arms to respond unpredictably to dancers, movements, and music. The goal was for both humans and robots to surprise and inspire each other. As the authors noted, if it's successful, both humans and robots will dance differently than before the meeting. Quokka Robotic Cafe unveiled a promo that makes it clear why production of the Pepper robot shut down. The humanoid robot, which is supposed to be the most dexterous and helpful in the cafe, in fact does nothing at all. It only attracts attention. And really, a huge rubber duck or flyer could do the same thing. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and don't miss any new episodes from the world of robotics and high tech.